Welcome to the Document Strategy Podcast, a free and independent podcast dedicated to the promotion of document strategy design worldwide. I'm your host, Kevin Crane, and I'd like to welcome you to the broadcast. My guest today is Dave Kerpen, social media expert and best-selling author. Kerpen first received media attention in Boston in the late 1990s and early 2000s for his unique vending sales strategies that featured dancing and singing at places like the Fleet Center, Fenway Park, and Gillette Stadium. In fact, he was once ejected from a Boston Celtics game because the coach complained that he was too distracting to the players. Kerpen then went on to appear in 2003 as a contestant on Fox's reality TV series Paradise Hotel, where he was a runner-up for that competition. In 2006, he co-founded Likeable Media, a social media marketing firm based in New York. Now he's a best-selling author, a national commentator on social media, and has even flirted with a political career. His book, Likeable Social Media: How to Delight Your Customers, Create an Irresistible Brand, and Be Generally Amazing on Facebook and other social media networks, spent time on both the New York Times and the USA bestseller lists. I'm going to ask Dave about some of the social media techniques that he has used successfully to help redefine the brands of a number of companies like 1-800-Flowers, Neutrogena, and Verizon, and what professionals in the document and customer communications industry should know in order to make the most of the ever-evolving landscape of social media. All of that and more, so stick around. We'll be right back with this episode of the Document Strategy Podcast. This episode of the Document Strategy Podcast is sponsored in part by Pro Channel Manager from Crawford Technologies. Are you able to deliver important communications to your customers when, where, and how they want it? What about interfacing with digital mailbox services for significant savings and increased customer satisfaction? With Pro Channel Manager from Crawford Technologies, you can deliver critical customer communications to leading digital mailbox services. Manage all customer preferences for communication delivery from one database. Realize your portion of billions of dollars in printing and mailing savings with Pro Channel Manager. Best of all, you reach your best customers where, when, and how they want. Find out more about Pro Channel Manager at crawfordtech.com. That's www.crawfordtech.com. Communicating with customers is not as simple as it used to be. Between websites, social media, text messaging, and even plain old print and mail, companies find that communicating with customers is more complex than ever before. Transaction from OMI changes all of that with a single cloud-based platform to manage all of your customer communications. Transaction helps you reduce the burden of paper and improve your communications through paperless statements, web-based correspondence, email, and social media. Now you have a central point where all of your customer communications meet to deliver value to the day-to-day transactions of your business, no matter what channel you use. Visit omi.co. That's omi.co.
You're listening to the Document Strategy Podcast.
Dave Kerpen, welcome to the Document Strategy Podcast. In your book, Likeable Social Media, you say that the secret to successful word-of-mouth marketing on the social web is easy. Just be likable. What do you mean by that?
So many folks trying to use social media are trying to take the marketing principles of traditional marketing and even traditional online marketing and apply them. But the thing is, those aren't the right principles to apply to social media. The right principles to apply to social media are principles of word-of-mouth marketing and principles of just real-life interaction. So in so many ways, social media is just like a cocktail party. And so in a cocktail party, the person that's successful isn't the one that's walking up to people and saying, "Hey, I have 20% off. Buy now." The person that's successful is the one that listens, tells great stories, and is generally a likable person. And that's the sort of behavior that is rewarded in social media marketing.
Well, your book, you talk about creating an authentic brand personality through Facebook and others. And really, one of the first things that you advise companies to do is to listen first and never stop listening. Can you describe the importance of listening to your customers through social media?
Communication has always been 50% talking and 50% listening. But up until the social media time, we just haven't had the tools to do the listening. And so most of communication was the talking part, the direct mail, the television and radio advertising, the billboards, all the talking part. And then listening was the occasional focus group. Well, now social media allows us to listen to the world as a focus group 24/7 and pay attention to data and literally listen to what people are saying about you and your competitors and your products and your customers on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, every single social media platform that's out there. And you can even use social media listening tools within your organization to better share and hear what's going on, what employees are saying, and how they're communicating and collaborating with one another.
So it makes sense as you understand what people are saying and the real world, sort of the cocktail party conversation about what people are saying about you and about themselves and about the world around them, the better then you can refine and target your messaging and your personality, if you will, to further the betterment of whatever you're about as a business.
Exactly. The listening is the most important first step, but then once you listen, you can actually use that data to build a better business, to build better products, to build better customer relationships, to build, to do things better than you're doing now.
And building that customer relationship or that experience is an important topic in our industry, the customer communications industry. Things like targeted messaging and demographics have always been, sort of mechanical focuses. And you talk about how with social media, your target audience can be more defined than ever before. How so? And how should communications professionals in our industry leverage the combined power of social media and targeted messaging and demographics?
The targeting is absolutely mind-blowing. Facebook alone has data on 900 million people. And it's funny because there's a line in The Social Network in the movie that's, what's cooler than reaching, what's cooler than $1 million, $1 billion. Well, I like to do the opposite when I talk about the targeting potential with social media and with Facebook, Kevin. You know what's cooler than reaching 900 million people on Facebook? Reaching the right 9,000 or the perfect 900 or the most important 9 customers. It's not about reaching the entire universe unless you're Coke or Pepsi. It's about reaching your very, very specific audience. And if you want to only target 22-year-old married females in Cleveland who like soccer and jazz, you can. You can use job title, interest, and company to literally target as wide or as narrow an audience as you want. I took out an ad targeting 34-year-old female married employees of Likeable Media. The ad said, "I love you, Carrie," right? Because my wife is my business partner. Of the 900 million people on Facebook, she was the only person in the world that could see that ad based on that targeting criteria. On Twitter, you can target people based on exactly what they're saying. So you can target people that are saying, "Need an accountant." I mean, imagine if you're an accountant and instead of targeting random direct mail for an age and a gender, or some demographic, psychographic profile, you can target people that are saying, "I need an accountant right now." It's amazing.
I'm speaking with Dave Kerpen, author of the book Likeable Social Media, a book that spent time on both the New York Times and the USA Today bestseller lists. And Dave, I guess really what you're talking about is the need not only to engage with customers using social media, but in a way that's thoughtful and creating a true dialogue between you and your customers, even to the point where it's almost literally one-to-one. How can businesses get customers and fans more engaged and really build that true kind of dialogue?
Well, they've gotta be real. They've got to be authentic. And so many communications professionals have, for so many years, been trained to make things slick and appealing and marketing speak. And what works in social media, what works in customer relationships in social is more that cocktail party. It's being authentic. It's being vulnerable even. And to think that somebody that, maybe spent years developing marketing collateral and sending out really beautiful, slick-looking marketing collateral would jump on Twitter and say, I'm really sorry. We really screwed up, and I don't. I'm not happy myself with my company sometimes. Or things that are just so real and raw. It's very, very different. But ultimately, that's what works. Because that's what we crave humanity. We crave authenticity. We crave likability as humans, and that's what that's what's successful in social. No matter how big your business is.
I'm with Dave Kerpen, the author of the book Likeable Social Media: How to Delight Your Customers, Create an Irresistible Brand, and Be Generally Amazing on Facebook and other social networks. It's time for a short break, and when we get back, we'll talk some more. This episode of the Document Strategy Podcast is sponsored in part by Pro Channel Manager from Crawford Technologies. Are you able to deliver important communications to your customers when, where, and how they want it? What about interfacing with digital mailbox services for significant savings and increased customer satisfaction? With Pro Channel Manager from Crawford Technologies, you can deliver critical customer communications to leading digital mailbox services, manage all customer preferences for communication delivery from one database, realize your portion of billions of dollars in printing and mailing savings with Pro Channel Manager. Best of all, you reach your best customers where, when, and how they want. Find out more about Pro Channel Manager at crawfordtech.com. That's www.crawfordtech.com. Communicating with customers is not as simple as it used to be. Between websites, social media, text messaging, and even plain old print and mail, companies find that communicating with customers is more complex than ever before. Transaction from OMI changes all of that with a single cloud-based platform to manage all of your customer communications. Transaction helps you reduce the burden of paper and improve your communications through paperless statements, web-based correspondence, email, and social media. Now you have a central point where all of your customer communications meet to deliver value to the day-to-day transactions of your business, no matter what channel you use. Visit omi.co. That's omi.co.
You're listening to the Document Strategy Podcast.
Welcome back. I'm with Dave Kerpen, author of the book Likeable Social Media and CEO of Likeable Media, a social media marketing firm based in New York. Now, Dave, I find it interesting that you say social media should not be used as a means to sell your product or your brand or your company, but instead should just simply make it easier and more appealing for customers to buy. That seems counterintuitive, especially for companies hoping to make the most of social media marketing. How does not selling result in more sales? How does that work, and why is that important?
Yeah, ultimately it's just a mindset. Look, my business has doubled every year for 5 straight years. We're selling a lot. But we don't think of ourselves as selling. We think of ourselves as providing great value, providing great content, and when people are ready to buy from us, they come to us. And it's worked remarkably well for us, and it works for our clients when we teach them right and when they practice it right. It's a mindset. It's nobody likes to be sold to, Kevin, but everybody likes to buy. So instead of focusing on sell, we focus on creating a great experience, teaching the world what we do, and creating great value for them. When they're ready to buy from us, when they need what we have, they're going to come to us. And we won't have to sell them because they already have a relationship with us. and we're the people they want to do business with. We're the company that they want to do business with. It's not too different from selling. It's just it's the attitude and the way that you go about doing it.
These are some of the approaches that you have used to successfully redefine the brands of a number of large companies that we know, including 1-800-Flowers, Neutrogena, Verizon, Fios. In general, Dave, what are some of the challenges that these kind of marquee companies face when it comes to social media?
Well, the larger the company, the bigger the challenge. Ultimately, social media, if you're going to do it right, and not just throw up a Facebook page or Twitter account, social media really requires a high-level understanding from the C-level. And so one of the big challenges is that, lower-level and mid-level marketing execs sometimes need to get buy-in from senior execs, before they're able to really do something meaningful and substantial and sustaining. That's probably the biggest challenge. Beyond that, it really requires building adaptability into your organization. And again, that the larger the organization, sometimes the more challenging that is, but it requires becoming more adaptable and becoming more flexible to change your ways and to change with the fast-changing times. I mean, when I wrote the book, Pinterest didn't exist. Now it's the third largest platform. And so luckily I'm doing a rewrite right now. The second edition will come out soon. But, the idea is that this is the fastest changing communications time that we've ever had. Pinterest, Instagram, Google+, these are all networks that have emerged within the last couple of years. And so many folks are still trying to catch up with Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. So and LinkedIn. And so a successful application of social to large enterprises requires a deep understanding and a deep commitment from senior level management and the building of adaptability into the organization.
It's time for another short break. When we get back, we'll talk some more. www.document-strategy.com. That's where you'll find everything you need to put together a document strategy that will result in real-world bottom-line benefits, including my 3-hour document strategy training seminar on DVD. This video training program covers the methods and concepts found in my book, Designing a Document Strategy, including an in-depth discussion of the 5-phase document strategy design model, as well as case studies that demonstrate how the approaches and methodology can be used in the real world. Folks, this is independent, user-focused education on document strategy design, the kind of information that you can take back to your place of business to build real-world strategies that will save you money, improve efficiency, and bolster end-user satisfaction. Don't have time or the funding to leave your office for industry conferences and technical seminars? No problem. Now you can benefit from this document strategy training without leaving your office. Visit www.document-strategy.com to order your copy today. There's nothing else like it available. 3 hours of document strategy design training on DVD. That's www.document-strategy.com, your real-world resource for document strategy design.
Do you have great ideas but need expert writing skills to make them leap from the page? Do you have a great product or service that needs better exposure to new customers, potential partners, or the media? Do you need help with a communications strategy that will grow your business and bring about real-world bottom-line results? Crane Communications Group is a custom writing and communications agency focused on the document processing and information management industries. We focus on your key messages and get results by tailoring our efforts to meet your specific marketing and communication needs. Expert writing and editing, audio success stories and custom podcasts, effective media relations, and dependable and professional customer service. Contact us today at www.cranegroup.com. That's Crane, C-R-A-I-N-E, cranegroup.com.
You're listening to the Document Strategy Podcast.
I'm speaking with Dave Kerpen, social media expert and best-selling author, CEO of Likeable Media. And Dave, we're nearly out of time, but before we go, I do want to shift gears and ask you just a little bit about your personal trajectory into the national spotlight. You first received attention in Boston in the late 90s and early 2000s for your unique vending sales strategies that featured dancing and singing at places like Fleet Center and Fenway Park and Gillette Stadium. And then you went on in 2003 to be a contestant on Fox's reality television series Paradise Hotel, where you were a runner-up there. And then in 2006, you co-founded Likeable Media, a social media firm based in New York. Now you're a best-selling author, a national commentator. You've even flirted with a political career. Wow, this is a rather unique rise, and it must have been a really wild ride for you over the last 10 or 15 years. Can you describe what that's been like for you personally and professionally?
Wow, well, that's a big summary, Kevin, and it's been a fun ride. You know, I just enjoy life, and I enjoy the curveballs that life throws. And you know, the biggest thing you didn't mention, really the most important thing there, is that, you know, I'm married to the love of my life, and I have two beautiful daughters that are 4 and 8 years old, and ultimately, you know, while some of that stuff was fun and some of this stuff has been great, and that's the most important aspect of my life, you know, moving forward. And so what the future brings is hard to tell, but we're certainly really excited about what we're building at the company Likeable. We're building a platform for local businesses called Likeable Local. We're building an education and training platform called Likeable Community College. And my second book will be out in November of 2012. It's called Likeable Business, and it talks about building a business, you know, it talks about likability beyond social media, about building a sustainable business by using some of the great principles of likable social media and likable business, things like authenticity, transparency, passion, surprise and delight, listening, responsiveness, gratefulness, and a few other concepts.
Dave Kerpen, that sounds great, and I really want to thank you for being a guest on the Document Strategy podcast today. Where can people contact you and find out more information about all of the things that you're involved in?
Yeah, so responsiveness is one of my core values personally, and so I respond to every single message that I get, and I get thousands. The best way to get a hold of me is Twitter, twitter.com/Dave Kerpen, or @Dave Kerpen for all the experts out there on Twitter. And then if folks aren't on Twitter yet, the second best way is Facebook, facebook.com/dkerpen, or facebook.com/Likeable Media. And then the third best way is, of course, real old school email. You can reach me at dave@likeable.com.
That's Dave Kerpen, CEO of Likeable Media and best-selling author. And this has been a great conversation, Dave. We just haven't had enough time. I hope that you'll come back again and we can talk more.
Thanks so much, Kevin. Have a likable day, everyone.
That'll do it for this episode of the Document Strategy Podcast. If you'd like to reach us at the podcast, you can do so by email info@document-strategy.com. Meanwhile, join us next time when we continue to explore methods, technologies, and techniques to design real-world document strategies with bottom-line benefits. I'm your host, Kevin Crane. Thanks for listening. Document-strategy.com, your real-world resource for document strategy design.